Very good afternoon to the participants. Kindly bear with us due to some technical difficulties. Resource person is not able to reach us. Kindly bear with us. Soon we will begin the session. Dear participants, very good afternoon to you all. Due to some technical difficulties, we are not able to get the resource person in the Google Meet. We are doing it. Kindly bear with us. Soon we will begin the session. Dear participants, warm greetings from St. Joseph's College, Arts and Science, Kovur, Chennai, PG Department of Commerce, in association with Internal Quality Assurance Cell, is organizing international webinar series on getting ready to publish your academic writing. The international webinar series fourth session is going to get start very soon. We are trying to reach our resource person, Dr. Xavier Joseph. He is going to deep,
Sir joined us.
yes, expertise yourself in refining the academic writing research. So now I request Dr. Solomon to start the session.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. We, PG Department of Commerce, thankful to our founder, Reverend Father Dr. J.E. Arulraj, management, our administrator sister, Reverend Sister Dr. Santiago Mary, Principal Dr. R. Ruben, our own Vice Principal, Mrs. Shamla Alexander, and our department and dear participants. I welcome you all to the International Webinar Series. I'm extremely delighted to begin the last session of the International Webinar Series 8. I'm delighted to introduce Dr. Joseph Xavier, Vice Principal and Head of the Department of Station Management, Mary Mother College, Perikulam, former Head of the Department of Management Studies, St. Joseph College, Tiruchi. Doing academic research, we found a unique personality research. Sir educated M.Ed from Annamalai University, MBA from Bharatidasan University, M.Com from Alagappa University, MPhil from VHNS College, Virudhunagar, and doctorate degree from Bharatidasan University. Sir undergone study skill and faith education technical training organized by Alagappa University and NBCLC Bangalore. Sir undertaken major project on a study on the total quality management of hospital clinic waste and hazards in Tamil Nadu, sponsored by UGC. It is worth for 3,74,600 rupees. Sir published 25 international journals and 10 of them awarded doctor degree under Sir guideship. Sir delivered special address on student guidance and counseling, academic staff college, Bharatiyar University, and also addressed on challenges of human rights in social life, UGC Human Resource Development Center, Bharatiyar University. Sir been a board of study member for Jairaj Anabakim College for Women, Periykulam. Periyar EVR College, Tiruchirappalli. Sir served as a chief editor for the Dynamic of Management, the Plus Factors organized by Department of Business Administration, St. Joseph College, Tiruchi. Chief editor in the review member for Primax Journal of Commerce and Management Research, Bangalore. Expert committee member, Bharatdasan University Center for Distance Education, Tiruchirappalli. Lesson writer for MCOM degree conducted by the Center for Distance Education, Bharatdasan University, Tiruchi. Also served as a coordinator for the project work MCOM degree, Center for Distance Education, Bharatdasan University, Tiruchirappalli. Sir been a resource person for All India Catholic University Federation, St. Joseph College, Tiruchi. Udayam Capuchin Community Center, Tiruchi. Rural Organization for Action and Development, Chennai Board of Studies in Commerce. External members, Arutperum Jodi College of Arts and Science for Women, Pondicherry. Organized state level seminars 3 times, 2 at Mary Mother College, Periykulam, 1 at St. Joseph College, Tiruchirappalli. Resource person for colleges, commerce carnivals, keynote speaker, chief guest addresser, inauguration speaker, academic expert, book release, expert committee member, felicitation addresser, member board of studies, and voluntary advisor at 35 different locations and venues. Sir organized national and state level seminars. Sir attended 55 international, national, and state level seminars in different fields of subjects. Presented paper at international, national conferences and seminars. Resource person at 10 venues to create public society awareness. Sir received Sri Rangavacharya and Srimadi Pushpa Valli Ammal Cash Award at 171st College Day celebration. Maximum number of PhD produced in a year at St. Joseph College, Tiruchi, and served as a Senator's member, Bharatdasan University, Tiruchirappalli, from 2001 to 2004. With this note, I request Reverend Father Adiklasamy, head of the department, to lead us in prayer and welcome our eminent resource person. Father?
Yes, sir. Dear participants, kindly close your eyes. Let us seek the grace and blessings of the Lord. Almighty God, to you all hearts are open, all desires known, and from you no secrets are hidden. Cleanse the thoughts of our hearts by the inspiration of your Holy Spirit, that we may perfectly love you and worthily magnify your holy name. I also surrender our founder chairman, our college administrator, principal, HODs, and all the staff members, especially our resource person, Dr. Joseph Xavier, into your hands. Send your Holy Spirit among us so that we will be inspired by your Spirit. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. Dear participants, on behalf of our founder chairman, Reverend Father Dr. J. Arulraj, our administrator, Reverend Sister Dr. K. Sandhya Mary, our principal, Dr. Ruben, Vice Principal, Mrs. Shamil Alexander, and Mrs. Vijayalakshmi, and all the heads and the staff members, I welcome our resource person, Dr. S. Joseph Xavier, Vice Principal and Head, Aviation Management, Mary Mother College of Arts and Science, Periykulam, Theni District. Dear participants, when I was doing my PhD at St. Joseph's campus, he was very inspiring person. And in all the research programs, Dr. Joseph Xavier will be there. And he was inspired by many youngsters so that whoever is working in St. Joseph's campus in Tiruchirappalli are inspired by his humility and his intelligent career. So it's our pride, and with immense joy and pleasure, I approached Dr. S. Joseph Xavier, and happily he accepted, and he is going to deliver the speech. And now I welcome Dr. S. Joseph Xavier on your behalf. Welcome, sir. Thank you for your acceptance, and we are waiting to hear your talk. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Salman, sir.
Yes, Father.
Yes. Sorry, is on the line.
Yes, sir. Sir is on the online, but sir muted his line. Sir, Xavier, sir, Dr. Xavier, sir, kindly unmute your audio, sir, so that we will be able to hear your presentation.
Salman, sir, you have to.
Yes, sir. Sir is on the line.
Okay.
Sir, kindly unmute your audio, sir. There will be an option below. If you click on the screen, sir, you will find the option. So take out that strike.
Okay, sir. Now
Yes,
it's
sir.
okay?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
One minute.
Yes,
Professor
sir, we are
Solomon, shall I
hearing you.
start?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
The most respected Reverend Father, founder chairman of the college, beloved principal, Father Ruben, the dynamic HOD, Reverend Father Adekal Swami, and the associates of the department, Dr. Solomon Tangadurai, the heads of various departments, professors, students, and well-wishers and viewers, and all the technical associates of the program. A pleasant good afternoon to everybody gathered. My dear friends, today's topic, is report writing. Before beginning the session, just I would like to say one small story or incident. I studied all my schooling and colleges by staying in the hostel. I used to write letters to my parents because in those days there was no cell phone and so on. All those letters, whatever I wrote, was kept by my parents. One day, without my knowledge, without the knowledge of my parents, I just opened up the file and I was reading through the letter what I wrote when I was studying. Even a letter what I wrote 5 years back and so on. When I was reviewing the letter, I found that I was really very much guilty in knowing the style of the letter because the matter, what I presented in the letter is okay, but the way in which I presented the matter was really somewhat made me to feel very guilty because it was not in the order. Then I come to know which matter or which subject should come first and which subject should come next, and so on. So only by experience, only by knowing the techniques of writing the report, we understand even to write a letter, a methodical way of presenting. I just here I would like to point out, Jawaharlal Nehru used to write letter to his daughter, Srimati Indira Gandhi, when he was in the jail. Only by reading the letter, Indira Gandhi madam was able to sign like anything because of the presentation he quoted, the content he quoted. So such a very important subject matter today we are going to deal with. That is why I say, what is report? It is nothing but exposition of facts and figures, what is being derived in our research work. It is not simply exposing the facts and figures. We have to describe, illustrate, and get the results. Those results, summary, intact, as per the directions of the Universal Code of Research, is called research report. I hope you are able to understand. Then, this research report is divided into two. Number one is oral report. You could see in the PowerPoint, oral report is very much helpful to have a better understanding. You know, anything we say verbally to the audience is called oral report. The next report is called written report. Written report are of two types. Anything in the black and white is called written report. The first type of written report is informational report. It is nothing but exposing the facts and figures for the information's sake. We can find that there are a lot of informations put up in the notice board. There are a lot of informations given by various medias. Those things are not research report. Those things are informational report. But if the same information is derived by assessment, then it is called informational report, which is supported by factual information with little explanation. In the same written report category, the second one is called research report. This is the actual thing we are going to deal with. Written report, research report is one of the written reports. In that, there are two items. Number one is technical report. Any research done in the technical side, in the pure science, in which there is much of technical term used based upon assumptions and findings, of course, methodology, is known as technical report. And always you could see that, as I told you already, it is completely relating to pure science only. In the sense, other than humanities, commerce, management, art, and so on. Anything other than these things are called technical report. Then, coming to popular report. This is one of the categories of the research report which comes under written report. Actually, this is our report meant for. Popular report is nothing but our own report which is prepared by the management student, commerce student, art students, humanities students after doing the research. Whatever the report they prepare is known as popular report, which is supported by chart, diagram, methodology completely, which is accepted universally. And moreover, there are so many categories of types of research. You would have learned it. Analytical research, basic research, pure research, case study, descriptive, exploratory, experimentary, like that, field study, like that. Any one of the methods we follow and complete the research, with which we prepare a report called popular report. Now, this is the first phase of my address. The next phase of address is mechanics of report writing. This is what the subject matter we have to be very proficient. Mechanics of report writing means the techniques we have to follow, the techniques we have to keep in mind, the steps you have to keep in mind, the attributes you have to keep in mind, compulsorily is called mechanics of report writing. You could see the chart. There are 7 mechanics. In this particular lecture, we are going to deal with all the 7 mechanics. The first mechanic is called, the next PowerPoint, it could see mechanics of report, the size and physical design. My dear friends, please see that the size of the report, that is paper size, should be 8.5 inch width and 11 inch height. And on the left side, there must be 1.5 inch margin. On the right side, there must be 0.5 inch margin. Space must be left. On the top as well as at the bottom, we must leave 1 inch. There are a lot of papers, A4 size papers supplied by TNPL. You just measure the paper, the same size you could see. And whenever we type, it should be double spaced and only one-sided. Suppose you want to insert a very long quotation. In that case, it need not be compulsorily double spaced, only for that particular quotation. It can be even single space or double space. It depends upon the situations or the availability of the space. But all the other typing matters should be like that. So this is the first mechanics in connection with the size. The second one is in connection with procedures. That is, steps to be followed before we write a research report. The first step is planning level. You all know very well, planning and organization is playing very vital role. Without any planning, the execution cannot be very much effective. When we make a plan, that's what even our humor actor Vadivel says. We have to do always anything with a plan. So just for humor only, I'm just saying that. So, in planning, what we do, we keep in mind whether we are able to collect the matter and keep in order in a logical way, in a coherent way, in a sequential order. Whether we are able to have the subject matter in a systematic way. Everything we keep in mind, it is like a plan, it is like a sketch, it is like a blueprint. That blueprint is done in mind as well as in thinking in the first step. It requires a lot of thinking, loud thinking, reviewing in the planning level, so that all could be accommodated. The second step is outlining of research study. You could see the PowerPoint. Raman sir, please see the PowerPoint, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Procedure, second point. In the PowerPoint, you could see that outlining of research report. Next slide, sir. Next slide. Next slide. Next one. Next one. Now we are seeing this. Outlining of research studies. This means what we had in mind in our thinking in the planning level is put into action. We are sketching the plan. Sketching the plan with, why do we sketch the plan? Because so that nothing would be omitted. When we make sketch of the plan, we have to make use of the skills of reasoning. Why we should do, why we should not do, how we have to do it, whether there is a compulsion to include it. We find the logic in all our arrangement, in scheming. Moreover, there are 3 levels of outlining: topical level, paragraphic level, and subject matter level. Whether every word, title, heading, everything is very proper, conveying the meaning. Whether it is being properly paraphrased. So that should be kept in mind as a plan. So These two steps will work out to have a very sound planning. The third step in the second mechanic is preparation of the rough draft. That means we start writing. We start writing and we'll be going on writing some 3-4 pages, okay? So once we complete 3-4 pages, just you read the pages what we complete. Then you can find what is wrong with us in the report or in our writing. You can make a counter check whether our generalization is correct, whether our suggestions are correct, whether our techniques of analysis is correct. Everything we can make a cross-checking by means of preparing a rough draft. Once you prepare the rough draft, you rewrite the draft. You polish again and again. Sometimes you may require 4 times of rewriting, 5 times of rewriting. Your proficiency will be increasing every time. The time will come. You'll be very much proud to have uprightness in your report, and you can firmly say what is what, and you can easily eradicate all the weaknesses of the logical process. In case any illogical things are there, you can eradicate everything, and you can avoid all the grammar mistakes, spelling mistake, usage mistake, everything. And that way, it takes a lot of time. This second step, second mechanic, D step, step number D, will take a lot of steps. However, because of this only, it is like it's going to be like a newborn baby. My dear friends, I tell you, in Chennai, you just make a cross check. There is one person, very proficient man, named by Mr. Ilayya Perumal. He was working in the Dinamani newspaper, and because of his proficiency in presentation, he was given a job in American Embassy, and he was every day, he was interested to polish and rewrite all the documents. Such a very important work it is. So, although we are bound to take lot amount of time, nothing to worry. So once you attain a particular stage, when you take up the second research and third research and so on, the time taking for repolishing, polishing or rewriting will be very much less. Then, in second mechanic, the next step is called, the last step is called preparation of the final bibliography. Bibliography is to be appended in our research report at the end. It should be arranged in an alphabetical order. It is divided into 2. First, books and pamphlet. Second, magazines and newspapers. And it should be in the following order. My dear friends, please look at the PPT. You could see that. Sir, next slide, sir. Next slide, sir. In this PPT, you can find, if the reference is going to be in book and pamphlet, you have to mention the name of the author. The last name should be first. For example, Joseph Xavier means Xavier Joseph. Then the title must be underlined or it must be in an italicized wording. Then place, publisher and date of publication should be there. See here, I have given an example. Kothar CR. The name of the title, Quantitative Technique. The place, New Delhi. Publisher name, Vikas Publishing House. Year, 1978, it's missing. Then volume, you have to mention if there is a volume. Volume number 1, Roman letter. Volume number 2. And there is no page number for this. Please avoid this. It is wrongly written. Page number need not be included for this book.
Sir,
Yes, sir?
sir, can you lower your mic, sir? So some echo sound is rising. Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Exactly.
It's okay?
Sir.
Okay.
Sir.
Is it clear, sir?
Yes, sir.
Clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, my dear. My dear friends, I have told the example how to put up our write-up, footnote and bibliography when our reference is going to be related to books and pamphlet. Similarly, next slide. When our reference is going to be the magazines and newspaper, this is what the order. Name of the author, last name should come first, as usual. The article title, it should be within the quotation mark. See that, see the example I have given. Robert V. Rosa, coping with short-term international money flows within quotation mark. Then, name of the periodical, the banker, it should be in a italicized wording. Then, the place, London. Then, date of the issue, it's given 19 September 91. Then page number. Please understand that when your reference is in magazine and newspaper, you have to mention the page number compulsorily as per the directions given in Kothari book. But for the books, no need for putting the page number as per Kothari's direction. So this is what comes under steps in report writing. Steps in report writing. The last step is in steps in report writing is writing the final draft or finalizing the draft. Whatever already finalized, once again we make a review right from the beginning. We make a checkup on whatever the ideas we have kept in mind by outlining and everything, whether all those things are fulfilled or not, we make a counter check. And finally, we approve ourselves first to our entire satisfaction. So that is called, when we approve finally, please see that seems to be, maybe, and any terminology in an abstractive way should be avoided compulsorily. Anything which is not correctly conveying the meaning, any wording which is not conveying the meaning should also be avoided. So this is what the second mechanics. As I told you, there are 7 mechanics. First mechanics over, second mechanics over. In second mechanics, there are steps from A to F. All those things are over. Now, coming to the third mechanics called layout. You could see in the PowerPoint, third mechanic, layout of the research report. Layout means what are the different parts, how it should be laid. There are 3 parts in our research report. Any thesis or dissertation, you take into account. That could be divided into 3 parts. The first part is called section 1, preliminary part. Second part is called main body. Then let it be. Previous slide. Okay, nice man, nice sir. Now, in the first part, preliminary part, what are the subheadings? What are the not the heading? What are the things we have to, put into number 1 title page? That means you might have seen in all the theses in the outer board of the thesis, you could see the title page. The same thing should be found in the inside as a first page, title page. Then declaration. Declaration means it's a certificate given by, or the declaration given by the researcher, saying that it's nothing, it's not copied. He gives a promise, it's not copied, I declare. Then certificate given by the guide. Sometimes certificate may be the first one, declaration may be the third one. Inside, it all depends. So first one, title page, second one, declaration, third one, certificate. Then fourth one, acknowledgement. Acknowledgement means researcher will thank some people. So he can thank people under the head acknowledgement, all those who have helped in doing research. Sometimes in the place of, when it is in the book, we write instead of acknowledgement, we may make use of the term preface as well as forward also in case of the textbook. Then coming to abstract. Abstract will be saying what is inside, in a nutshell, is called abstract. It's also given to understand as a uh, bird's eye view about a particular research totally is called abstract. Then table of content. That means what is inside, whether what is the first chapter, what is the second chapter, what likewise. Those things are called table of content. Then list of tables. There may be lot number of tables, even 50, 100 tables may be there. All those tables will be numbered. And what is a number? What is a table heading? All those things must be listed and put it in the front. That is called list of tables. Similarly, list of illustrations, figures, and maps. You could find the difference between figure and table. Table, you know that there are vertical and horizontal lines. Okay. Figures means maybe diagram or a chart or a, like that. That's what figure. Then list of abbreviations. Certain abbreviations you may be using in your research. Instead of using a very big term all the time, what is the meaning of the particular term? You can cut short, and if it is universally accepted or need to be accepted compulsorily for your research, you can make an abbreviation and you can put it in the operational definitions, and whatever the abbreviations you are making use, those abbreviations must be listed here in the preliminary part itself. So these are the 9 important pages or the informations should be available under the heading preliminary page section as a first layout number 1. I'm sorry, layout part 1. Then layout part 2. In this layout part 2 consists of so many things. We call it as main body. Part 2 layout is main body. In this main body, the first heading is A, introduction and design of the study. That means we give the introduction. Under this introduction and design of the study, the following are the headings that should appear. Number 1, introduction. About the particular topic, what is an important, you must say the national importance as well as international importance, the need of the hour, in short, in the introduction, and about research in the introduction part. Then, statement of the problem. You may be very much affluent to say something more about your research, even maybe for writing the importance of the study, even for 10 pages. What you are going to write in 10 pages must be condensed into one paragraph in a nutshell, in an appealing way. That is known as statement of problem. This statement of problem is also otherwise called problem focus. Thereby, you are focusing the problem in an appealing way, in a paragraph at the maximum of maybe 3/4 of the page. Then, significance of the research. As I told you, you can explain elaborately the international importance, national importance, as well as need of the hour of the particular day. In what way this is going to be helpful, in what way your study is going to be differing from all others. So that you have to quote in the significance of the study. Then scope of the research. So you could see a small diagram, a picture, which is a volleyball court. See, there is a boundary. Likewise, for our research, there is a boundary. Within that boundary, whatever we cover in doing research, anything covered is called scope. Anything not yet covered is called limitation. So what we cover in research is called scope. What we have not covered is called limitation. Then operational definitions used. As I told you, some of the definitions you may be using. For example, I tell you, dropout is a word which is used for any students who are studying maybe 7th standard, 8th standard, and may discontinue and may not be turning back again for studying. So those people are called dropouts. The member who are doing the research under that particular category, first time, they might have used a particular term called dropout. And what is the meaning of the particular term dropout? He will be explaining under the heading operational definitions. So like that, in your research also, you whatever the definitions, anything very differently you are using, you have to mention in the heading operational definition. Then objectives of the study. I have given some of the objectives taking into account. I felt that this is my objective. This is my title. A study on the problems faced by the public during Corona curfew. A study on the problem faced by people of Tamil Nadu or people of Chennai or people of Madurai during Corona curfew. That is a title. Objectives may be economic problem, specifically I say, psychological problem, social problem, I suggest. So likewise, I have to suggest the objective. Then I have to quote the hypothesis. Please understand, hypothesis is a statement, is a temporary statement, is a tentative statement, the validity of which is yet to be tested. We are not giving the findings. Before taking up the research, right before doing the research, we give a statement. That statement is yet to be tested. That statement is called hypothesis. These hypotheses are totally different from objectives. You could see that I have told some of the objectives there in my previous slide. You could find the difference between the objectives what I told, and the hypothesis what I have quoted here. Now in the hypothesis, I have given two hypotheses. In that it is given, there is an association. I say like that, there is an association between economic problems and the nature of social distancing kept as advised by the government. There are two variables. I make the comparison. I just interrelate whether there is an association or not. I have to test, I have to analyze and find out. So, of course, I am going to collect the data for the objectives. Of course, that analysis I will do. Apart from doing all those analysis of the objectives data that I collected for the objectives, I will also be doing analysis and testing for my hypothesis, which will be enriching my research, which will be widening my research. So likewise, there is another hypothesis I have quoted. So this is what the hypotheses are different from the objectives. Then I should quote about the period of the study, whether my period of the study is between 80 to 90 or 90 to 2000 or 2005 to 2010, like that. So if the period is very much important to be noted for my research, it is compulsory to note the particular period of study. Then geographical area, compulsorily the area, the study profile area, profile of the study area, I have to mention. Profile of the study unit also I have to mention. And the importance of doing is because every profile, every area is differing from area to area by geographical nature, by environmental nature, so that whether my study is very much coinciding or relating to the environment or not, that we could verify or cross-check by means of having an eye view about the geographical study. Then limitation, I told you, what is not covered is called limitation. Then chapterization, you have to mention in the body of the letter as a first chapter, you have to compulsorily mention what are the chapter. First chapter deals, second chapter deals, like that. Then in the same main body, the second chapter or the second division may be review of literature. Once you select the topic, you might have visited the library and you must have taken a lot of reviews, maybe in the books, journals, newspapers, periodicals, under the bulletins, etc. So all those reviews must be brought here and it should be arranged in an orderly way that should be critically analyzed. All those analysis will be supporting your own data collection and data analysis. So this review will be supporting. Sometimes people after completing their research studies, they'll be very much affluent to give a lecture because they might have studied a large number of books when they are doing research. All those reviews, whatever they collected, they might have used for the research, as well as those reviews will be useful for giving lectures in the forthcoming period. Such a very important point is this review of literature. Some thesis, when we find that it is being critically analyzed more than the requirement, and this will depict our knowledge level. The students, please my dear friends, please understand that you have to be very much careful and proficient, not only in data collection and analysis, but also in review. Then the third chapter or the third division in main body is the design of the study. In design of the study, we have to mention about methodology, universe, population, sample, sample size, sample frame, sample unit, sampling method, nature of data. Uh, methodology covers everything. And what is universe? All these things you might have studied, but for the better understanding, I was put up some of the slides. For example, you could see in the next slide, right, under the heading methodology, you could see that. See that I have given a heading, a study on consumer preference towards XYZ two-wheeler in Trichinopalli district, Tamil Nadu. So I feel that there are maybe 5 zones in Trichy. Zone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I do not know the total number of users of two-wheelers XYZ in zone 1 and so on. So when I am not very much sure about the total number from which I am going to select the sample, then that total number which cannot be ascertained is called universe. If the total number cannot be ascertained correctly, then it is called universe. In the next example, see that a study on the socio-economic conditions of students in ABC College, Madurai, Tamil Nadu. In that, major one 400, 600, 450 and 300. And totally there are 1,750 population. When I am able to ascertain the total strength, then that is total strength need not be termed as universe, it could be termed as population. Then, similarly, sample means any element of this population is called a sample, or any element of the universe is called sample, and sample is representing the larger whole. Then, what is sample size? Sample size is a size from whom we are going to collect the data is called a sample size. The sample size is decided by following a formula, then by getting the advice from the expert or from the guide, we fix the sample size. And sample frame means, let us say, total sample size is 400. The velocity of sample 1 to 400, the total number stretch, the total stretch from 1 to 400 is called a sample frame. Let us assume that all those, let us say there are, the population is 100. I select only 20 sample size. I ask them to, in my mind, I keep in order 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 20. From 1 to 20, this range is otherwise called sample frame. Then sample unit means any one single sample from this sample size is called a sample unit. This sample unit sometimes may be only one person. This sample unit may be sometimes one family. It depends upon the title of the research. So all these things we have to quote. Now coming back to the previous slides, I told you now under C, the third chapter comes under third mechanic layout. Under third layout, second part main body. Under main body, the third chapter, under main body, the third chapter is design of the study. I told you the first introduction. I told you no introduction, significance, all those things are A. Then B is review of the literature, and C is design of the study. Under this, I told no methodology, universe, population, sample. Then nature of data. What is the nature of data? Whether primary or secondary. Source of data. Primary data are newly collected. Secondary data are data already published. Okay. Sources of data through which means Sources means from where we collected, whether we collected from the respondent or we collected from the books or something like that. So that is called sources. Then means for collecting the data, whether we have used the questionnaire or observation like that. So this is called means for collection. Then tools used for analysis. All these things must be mentioned under the heading design of the study. Sometimes the chapters may be varying. It is only an example I am saying. So first chapter, introduction, design of the study. Second chapter, review. Third chapter, design of the study. Fourth chapter, presentation and analysis of the study data. In presenting the data and analysis, we have to give the text, then table also we have to give, and figures, as I told you, pie diagram, bar diagram, chart, everything. And we have to make an analysis, and we have to derive the results, and the inferences also we have to derive. All those things must appear in our analysis part for every table, for every data, whatever we make an analysis. So this is called presentation and analysis of data. After we make an analysis, what we do, we summarize all the findings and put it to one chapter. So that is why we call summary of findings. It is not simply findings. Summary of findings, comma, suggestions and conclusion. And suggestions should always be based upon our logical reasoning, whatever we have mooted in our analysis. So anything suggestions given illogically, which is not supported by our findings, which is not supported by our analysis, cannot be called as suggestions. Our suggestions must be completely practical and based upon logical reasonings, whatever we establish in our research analysis. Then the last chapter, last headings in the particular main body will be implications. That is, what is the this part implication is not a must. Sometimes no, when we feel that there may be some other chapters also, we can make a research apart when we are, so let us say you are doing research in a particular line. Okay. When you are doing research in a particular line, we come to understand that there may be there are some other chapters also coming to your mind at the closure of your research, which could be taken up by some other people for research. So those things could be summarized and put it under the heading called implications. Apart from that, any other thing which is very compulsory from your point of view for future generation in the form of doing research, you could mention here under the heading implications. So these are the various chapters coming under the main body. Main body is the second section of the layout. Now, coming to the next one, layout, third mechanics, layout, next slide. I'm sorry, the other things, I'm sorry, one minute. Sampling method we have to follow. See, sampling method, I have told no, this. I told you two examples. I told college example. There are 4 major. You take up that example, and the total population is 1,750. For 1,750, I'm going to take 400. But for major one, there are only 400. So I get 91 sample. Likewise, for major 2, for 1,750, 400. Therefore, for the total number available in major 2, 137. So total, likewise, I derive the total sample, 400 it comes. Please look at the slide. So this particular method is called proportionate stratified sampling. Proportionate stratified simple random sampling we call. Otherwise, simply sampling. Then the next one is called, in the next slide you could find it is simply stratified sampling. The previous one, proportionate stratified sampling. Here it is simply stratified sampling. There are 5 zones as I told you already. And since we are not very much sure about the total strength in each zone, we simply take equal number of sample from all the zones. Zone 1, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80. And thereby we get 400 cent. So this is called stratified sampling. Likewise, there are so many sampling category it comes. So what is the sampling method you are following, that you have to compulsorily mention. Then coming to the third mechanic, layout, section 3. Third mechanic, layout, section 3. Everything comes in chart, the previous chart, the very old chart. In one chart I have brought in. In that, if you look at the chart, you could very well see. Now, layout 3, sorry, mechanics 3, layout, mechanics 3, layout, section 3, end matter. That means, in this section only, we have to mention about bibliography. As I told you, the bibliography may be books, journal, magazine, newspaper, and research studies, web addresses, and so on. We have to mention. What is the order of mentioning? I have told only 2 orders earlier in the steps in doing research. Order for the books and pamphlet, order for the journal and newspaper, I told already. Now, in the succeeding slides, we would see so many orders, because all those orders are covered under the heading end matter, which is the third section, comes under layout. The third mechanic, layout. Under that, third section, end matter. So bibliography I told. Then what's the meaning of appendix? Anything you want to enclose along with the thesis or dissertation, like questionnaire or any other photos, important things, any other table, if you want to attach, you can attach. So that is called appendix. Then indexing. I have given the photocopy of that particular thing to Dr. Solomon sir. It is in page number 356 and 57. You please get the things from sir, Solomon sir. You could find what is indexing. See, yes, indexing means, see here, maybe author indexing or subject indexing. See, in our analysis, some of the authors we might have quoted earlier in our analysis in the main body. Who are those authors, or who are those experts? In which page number they have quoted? So we give a summary for easy verification. So this is called author indexing. So similarly, it runs to so many pages. For example, only I have shown. And other things are indexing, subject indexing. That means concept-wise, sometimes indexing may be done. So that helps us to identify anything easily of any concepts. So this is called indexing, either author-wise or subject-wise. So this is what they say. So this comes in third part, end matter. Then, sir, next one, sir. Next, coming to the slide, sir. Fourth mechanic. Fourth mechanic is called treatment of quotations. I told you there are 7 mechanics. We have come to the fourth mechanic. Fourth mechanic heading is treatment of quotation. In this, these are the points we have to keep in mind. Number 1, any quotations to be placed in quotation mark compulsorily, double spaced. If the quotation is a very lengthy one, then it could be single spaced. Crossing more than 5 lines, 6 lines, etc. Then it could be single space. So that's what point number A and point number B. Then, so this is what in treatment of quotations. Simple. Any quotation should be within the quotation mark, and it should be double spaced. And in case of quotations running to more than 5 lines, 6 lines, it could be even in single space. Then, the fifth mechanic is called footnote. The same footnote I have told earlier also in the second mechanic, under the heading steps in writing the report. But briefly I told that. Now it is going to be illustrated very illustratively. Footnote is the fifth mechanic. under that, what are the important things we have to keep in mind? Number one, footnote must be at the bottom. At the bottom, there must be 1 inch space. Above that, there is a line. That's what we found in the size mechanic. When we study the first mechanic size, we learned that we have to leave one particular 1 inch space at the bottom. After that, above that, there must be a line. Above the line only, we have to write the footnote. And that footnote is meant for identification, cross references, and for citing easily, for citation of authorities. Who are those authorities? And we can cite it easily, and we can identify easily, and that way we are acknowledging them also. And we can easily elucidate, oh, this is what the book, let us go to that particular original source and get somewhere else also. So like that, we can go there. So for elucidation purposes, for acknowledging the purposes, we have to compulsorily write the footnote. But at the same time, footnotes are not an end or means of the display of the particular scholarship. Footnote alone cannot do it, but footnote is a must. Okay, that's why nowadays, instead of writing the footnote, instead of writing the footnote for each and every pages below the quote they quote in a particular page, on the same page you find the footnote earlier. Nowadays, instead of writing the footnote, they give everything as a bibliography at the chapter, every chapter end. That is also accepted. But Kothari says that footnotes are not an end, are not a means. But it's good to mention the footnote because it gives easy verification immediately. But at the same time, the other way of writing the bibliography is also accepted. It all subject to the acceptance of the guide. Then all those footnotes must be numbered consecutively 1, 2, 3, 4. For each chapter, the numbers must be separate. First chapter number, suppose starts by 1 means it ends with 20 means, okay, 20. The second chapter, again the footnote number starts by 1 only. It should not be summarily written. It's chapter wise, it should be consecutively numbered. Then, at the foot, compulsorily, at the foot of the page, when you write the footnote, and that footnote must be, footnote and the number of the quotation must correlate with each other. Let us say, there is page number 33 in your thesis. In page number 33, you have given the quotation, fifth quotation. And that fifth quotation reference, the footnote must appear in the same page under that. And the references, what you quote as a footnote at the bottom, must relate to the number. When you write number 5 in page number 33, when you read footnote number 5, it should be relevant to each other. And the detail what you give by putting number 5 at the bottom should not be irrelevant, should not be misleading. It's very much important. Otherwise, this will be, if it is misleading, immediately that report will be rejected. So that is why it must relate and corresponding to the note. The number of the footnote must be corresponding to the detail you give at the foot. Then, suppose you feel that there are so many footnotes and you want to distinguish between the footnote, then you can put asterisk mark, like you find symbol. Then, at the bottom of the page, maybe there may be only one footnote, or there may be 3 footnotes. In that case, compulsorily, there must be double space between one footnote to another footnote. Between one footnote to another footnote, there must be a double space. But when you write one footnote, maybe 2 lines. One footnote may be 2 lines. In that 2 lines, it may be single line, single space. Footnote is normally single space at the bottom, but you need to have double space between the footnotes. I think you are clear with that. Then, this is what the 5th technique, mechanic. Then, 6th mechanic is documentation style. documentation style is very important. Suppose you refer a book and that book is not having so many volume, no problem. Suppose you have referred a book which is having more value. In that case, you have to mention the volume number compulsorily. See the PowerPoint. Single volume reference means you need not mention the volume. Suppose if it is multi-volume references, then you have to mention the volume number in Roman letter and page also compulsorily. Then, when you refer the dictionaries and encyclopedia, in that case, you just see the example. In that case, pagination is not necessary. At the same time, edition number is compulsory. Edition number is compulsory. Page number is not compulsory. Similarly, when you refer the Dictionary of National Biography, we have to mention the edition and not the page number. When you refer the periodicals, as I told you, the same thing, the name, title, in quotation mark, periodical name, then volume number, date of issue, plus year, then pagination. So this is the order in which we have to give the documentation relating to the periodicals. The next slide is the same, comes under the same documentation with regard to the second-hand quotations. That means one member has already quoted the same quotation already in a particular report. The same quotation you want to quote it. So in that case, see the example. J.F. Jones, comma, Life in Polystyrene. That is, he is the first author quoted in page number 16. The name of the title is History of the Pacific Ocean Area. Okay, this is the matter quoted by Mr. J.F. Jones earlier in one of the books. The same thing you want to quote. Then you write here. The same thing is quoted by somebody else. Then you write the second person's name, R.B. Abel, page number 3. So likewise, second-hand quotations must be referred like that, placed like that. Then, suppose there are multiple authorship, more than one author. So in that case, you write the first name of the first author. For the rest of the authors, you write within quotation mark. You write et al. You could see the PowerPoint there. Et al. Are and others, like that. So it means there are so many authors. Then, suppose, let us say, in the same page, you have quoted reference number, quotation number 4 about some X. You might have given the footnote about Mr. X. Or in the same page, you want to quote another quotation given by Mr. X. That means in the same page, again you have to write the footnote. In that case, you need not write complete detail. It is enough to write only the term called EBIT, followed by page number. EBIT, comma, page number, that's all. Suppose only one page, in that case, P point, full stop, page number. Suppose it runs to page number 30 to 35, then you could write PP 30 to 35, 30-35. Suppose it runs to so many pages. So in that case, let us say it is starting from page number 190 and it runs to 200 or 210. So you could write like that, 190 FF. Suppose it runs to page number 190 and 191. That's all. Instead of writing 190-191, you could write 190F. Then opposite cited this means, suppose you want to say anything what is being quoted in the pages which is parallel, you could say that it is opposite cited. We go to mention compulsorily all these Roman numerical only should be followed when you are writing, quoting the volume of the book compulsorily. Then the last mechanic is called punctuations and abbreviations. When you make use of the punctuations, you please understand that the first word must be capital. Any proper noun should be capital and adjective should also be capitalized. Place of publications could be in a capital, first word. And sometimes we make use of the short term for the popular places. Say, for example, London means we make use of the word only LON, that's all. For the New York, instead of writing New York, you could write NY. It means New York only. So likewise, for popular country, we can make use of the terms like that. And please understand that I just read, if the date appears in the copyright of the title page, that means in some of the book, they have mentioned about the copyright details in the book itself, in the front cover, back side, they may have mentioned, or anywhere in the volume. In that case, you please mention, when you write, when you refer the particular copyright, compulsorily you have to mention within bracket. It is not bracket, it is square bracket. You should write like that. See copyright, means copyright 1991, 1991. Copyright 91, you are giving in the 91 itself. Suppose you are giving in the other year, means likewise year will be changed. So this is how you have to mention the, you have to make use of the punctuations and abbreviations. And there are some general points also, precautions. What are the precautions for writing the report? Number one, our report should not be too large and too short. It should be in an arbitrary way. You see that sufficient explanation is given. And you should take the advantage, you should win the confidence of the reader. And abstract terminology should not be used. Any terminology jargon, that means something saying unwantedly, not with a not saying anything in a clarity way, should be avoided. As I told you already, it seems maybe all these things should be avoided. Then, when you want to give statistical data, statistical tables, graphs and charts, and that should be readily available. Readily available, that means anything could, when you give a graph and so on, you should be easily displaying the matter, easily conveying the matter, not confusing the things. So that is what they say here. Then logical analysis must be there, implications must be logic, all the appendices must be enlisted only when it is necessary. Then there is a spelling mistake in 91. It is not indexing, it is indexed. As I told you, there are two ways of indexing, author indexing and subject indexing. Then confidence level must be calculated. That means when we are doing the analysis, you just imagine, there is in statistics, there is a curve called skewness curve. Left hand, right hand could be will be giving us the idea about finalizing the confidence level, whether 1% confidence level or 5% confidence level. That must be ascertained very early, because when you say all the findings, at what level you are saying the findings, you have to mention. So these are the general precautions. But some of the important abbreviations I have given to Dr. Solomon sir. Solomon sir, I have given the photocopy of the important punctuation he quoted. Here you could see, here you could see. Again, I would like to say that these things are absolutely found in Kothari CR book, and it's very clear. It's clear. Report writing is very clear in that particular chapter with regard to the punctuation. These things you can refer. And above all, and I'm really much happy to say more of things, but I want to clarify any doubts you want to, if you want to say, ask for. To Dr. Solomon sir, as well as our my respected father, Adeklaswamy father, I have given I have sent through their WhatsApp the uh, some of the listed journals, UGC CARE, everything I have given, and whatever I have been told to give the idea which could not be told here, which could be told only by means of information, I have given to Dr. Solomon sir as well as our father. Father will be putting up in the notice board. Our father will be sending to all people about the listed journal, UGC listed journal, everything. You please make benefit out of that. And above all, I would like to brief certain things importantly because otherwise my speech or our sitting now will not be very much fruitful. Please see that, boys, please write some article. When you want to write article, you first select a title. And about the title, you go to the library and find some sort of reviews. After collecting sufficient review, say for example, some 10 reviews, okay. If there is a need for collecting the data, you collect the data. You over the data collection just by interviewing some, not to the larger level, just by interviewing some maybe to 20 or 30, even then, that's enough. So by collecting the data and by collecting the reviews, when you want to write that article, or otherwise you can have a full swing of collecting data from 100 as time permits. You collect the data and collect the review also, with which you first write the introduction. When you are writing the article for the research journal, you write the introduction first. How to write the introduction? Simple. You just say, what is the importance of the particular topic? And what is the relevance of choosing the particular topic as an article? What is the need to study, need of the hour of the people, academician to study a particular topic? What best, how best it could be interrelated, linked with other topic? You mentioned that in the introduction chapter. Then you say the significance. So all those things are coming in the layout. Significance you say, statement of the problem you say. Then you study, say the methodology, as I told you, all the methodology you please mention. Unless otherwise you have a doubt in the methodology, you can very well mention about the methodology. And please verify and clarify the doubts with your experts and with your professors about each and element of the methodology. Once you are very clear with the methodology, all these things are very much easy at our hand. Everything will become easy, even to writing the textbook, writing the article, everything will become easy. And that is how we can conquer. We can conquer and we should conquer. And once you finalize the methodology, you make an analysis about your data. Analysis may be related to the data, or may be related to the review, or may be related to the data already published. Okay, it all depends. So you make an analysis and summary, some of the findings and inferences also, with which three, four pages of article you can complete. That is what in Corona period, I'm sorry, in during this curfew period, you can very well write so many articles. Right now, you can go in search for review. You can go in search for some of the data and start writing the article. You'll be much happy to know the updated and refined proficiency which you would built in with the help of the well-wishers of all your college, St. Joseph's College, with which I conclude. And I really happily remember, I register my gratitude to Father Adeklaswamy, Dr. Solomon sir, and all the founder chairman, principal sir, father, vice principal, all the executives of the colleges, and all the administrators of the colleges. And I am very much happy. Once again, I thank everybody, and I'm really ready for clarification. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your excellent session. Now I request Reverend Father Dr. Adeklaswamy to share his thoughts. Father?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Dear participants, on behalf of our founder chairman and our staff, I extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Joseph Xavier. And when I approached him, He was happily accepted our invitation and he is with us today. By his talk, we came to know very clearly what is report writing, and he has clarified all the nuances. And I think you have no doubt. I could see your appreciation through the chat box, even in the YouTube. Many they were happy about the presentation of Dr. Xavier, and really it was interesting and excellent session. So I sincerely thank him. So I could also share the people, those who registered their thanks. Priya Arumugham, and she is also thanking on behalf of all the participants. Thank you, sir, for your valuable and informative session. Thank you, organizers, for this 2 days webinar series on an excellent topic. And Vinodini also, she has given very insightful session, outstanding speaker, and their interest in providing every aspect of their area of session allotted. So it's a great opportunity to attend the valuable session. I think the YouTube viewers and the Google Meet participants, they felt the same thing. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. When I approached Dr. Pastin Jerome, and he only referred Dr. Joseph Xavier, and he is highly knowledgeable and efficient person for this topic. So, on behalf of management and our department, sincere thanks to Dr. Joseph Xavier. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Father.
I now invite Mr. Rishi Sir, Assistant Professor, PG Department of Commerce, to thank our eminent speaker. Rishi Sir.
Yes, sir. Good evening to all. I deem it a great honor and a privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this occasion. Let me first of all start by giving glory to the Almighty God for making this webinar series a resounding success. First and foremost, I thank our resource person, Dr. S. Joseph Xavier, Vice Principal and Head, Department of Aviation Management in Mary Mother College, who despite his busy schedule has found time to grace this session and also sharing such great things in a research report writing. This session was very useful and informative to us. We are really enlightened with your knowledge and presence. Thank you, sir. My heartfelt thanks to our founder, Dr. J. Arulraj, our administrator, Reverend Sister Dr. K. Sandhya, our principal, Dr. R. Ruben, our vice principals, Mrs. Shamla Alexander and Mrs. Vijay Lakshmi, our head of the department, Reverend Father Dr. Alagasamy, and the staff members of the PG Department of Commerce for their valuable guidance and encouragement in all our efforts to make this webinar series a grand success. Thank you all. I thank all the distinguished invitees present here accepting our invitation and giving your valuable time and attention to this session. Thank you all. And also, I thank our system admin, Mr. Jay Chandran, for providing a technical assistant for this webinar series. Thank you, sir. Once again, I thank you. All your feedback and attendance, ID appreciated. Thank you all.
Thank you, Rishi sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir, Dr. Xavier sir. Thank you so
Thank
much
you, sir.
for your
Thank you,
time.
Father. Father, my special thank to Father Dr. Adakala Swami for the management.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Very kind of you, Father.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Dear participants, thank you so much for your support from the webinar.